Welcome back to our Magrotech installation series. Today we're taking a hands-on approach to magnetic rod installation. First things first, to install the magnetic rods, we'll need to remove the end fittings on the spray line sections and check the boom tube is clean of residues and debris. If this is not clean, please inform the dealer or grower that the spray lines are not clean and further flushing may be required. Depending on your setup, the spray lines may need to be partially or even fully unmounted from the boom to allow enough room to insert the rods. To prevent potential damage to the spigots during the rod installation process, it may be necessary to loosen or remove all nozzle bodies. Once the spray line is clear, we can start attaching spacers to the rods. Thread the spacers onto the rod ends and carefully insert them into the spray line. Remember, the rods can be laid on the boom to ensure the spacers miss the nozzle spigot. Take great care during this process, and once spacing is confirmed, you'll need to disassemble the rods to prepare for installation. Insert each rod one at a time, attaching each spacer as you go. The spacer may need to be compressed with your fingers. As you install, rotate clockwise to ensure the spacer remains secure. Be careful with the orientation. This is what an incorrectly installed spacer looks like. And remember, never try to move a built rod and spacer assembly and insert it into the boom. To join the 100mm rods, use the Magrotech spacer provided. Alternatively, you can replace the spacer with a grub screw, which is a M6 by 16mm 304 stainless steel threaded bar joiner, but only for 100mm rods. In some cases where you need to pass through a T-section that has a smaller ID than the spray line, you can use an M6 by 180mm 304 stainless steel threaded rod bar to join. Use the threaded bar to join in T-sections if it is not possible to access each side. Use the threaded bar to join the rods. Build up the magnetic rods with the threaded bar section and measure up to the spray line section for fitment. If access is possible on each side, install the magnetic rods as normal without the threaded bar. In certain scenarios, stoppers are used to lock the magnetic rods in place. They connect to the last rod in the line, and when tightened, the wings expand to grip the line and secure the rod. Finally, once the spray line section is full end to end with magnetic rods, stoppers, and spacers, replace the end fittings and nozzle bodies. As a note, always start and stop with a spacer or a stopper at each end. Now, that's the basic process, but here are a few tips and tricks to make your magnetic rod installation smoother. Heat the spacer in warm water for extra movement on smaller spray line internal diameters. Avoid heating the magnetic rod as it can damage the magnetic properties. Use the grub screws instead of spacers to join 100mm rods where possible. Use a threaded bar to join in T-sections if it's not possible to access each side. And in some cases, where magnetic rods cannot be installed due to bends or obstructions at the boom ends, the boom may be cut and joined with boom joiners. In the next video, we'll guide you through sprayer preparation and pressure testing.